play sports, but I like to go to Vineyards.
Drinking is my sport.
You know what I've been really into these days? Drinking and eating food.
I know.
So, it's a real change in my personality.
What can I say? Someone's got to do it.
Exactly. I know.
But seriously.
But yeah, I think we've hit on vineyards and food today, and that actually all spurned out of the article written by Patty J. That's a roundup of all vineyards and a brewery, couple of breweries around the state that actually serve food. Some of them additionally have like special nights where they'll have an outside vendor come in, or they have food trucks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm actually a big fan of like food matching the thing I'm doing. Like, I know that seems out there, but if you go to a vineyard, them selling like cheese and wine and like charcuterie and like doing like wine things.
Yeah, it all pairs.
Wine. The sponsor for today's episode is Rhode Island Energy, and they can help you save money, including 50 to 100% off approved insulation and 100% off air sealing. And it all starts with a no-cost home energy assessment. Schedule yours today at rienergy.com/save-at-home. That's rienergy.com/save-at-home. And now, back to the show. Yeah, I think that's nice. And I think a lot of these places do things similar to that. Like,
yeah.
So you wouldn't eat what if it was like a dessert food truck?
That goes with everything.
Does
yeah,
it?
I guess, but that's not like I would. I think if I was like going, when I am like, I don't go out that often. So
You're like, I'm a hermit.
Yeah, I stay home where I belong. So I don't go out that often. So I feel like when I do, I just want it to be like what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So like if somebody's like, we're going to go to a vineyard, and I go and it's like hot dogs and hamburgers, like that would be great at a brewery. But like,
I would never turn down a hot dog.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't eat it. I would just be like, I don't know, it doesn't quite fit.
No,
so
when we went to Sakonnet Vineyards,
Yeah.
they have like a new chef with like a limited menu.
So you know how
really good stuff.
How I went recently, we got like a flatbread margarita pizza with whipped ricotta on it.
Yeah, so I feel like most
So
places
good.
now they are being more mindful of a menu that pairs with like what they're serving.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it's like I would like the option at like a vineyard to get something more hearty as well. Because,
Yeah.
if you're going to be there all day drinking wine, you probably should put something hearty in your belly.
Pack
Yeah.
some peanuts.
But, having that stuff like charcuterie or like a wine board, a cheese board or, whatever to kind of pair with what you're drinking, I think is awesome.
You're bored.
Yeah.
I'm bored listening to you.
One of my stock phrases, board meeting, BORED meeting.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, if you like heavier meals, then in the list too, there's also like the breweries
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this wrong.
Appanog.
Thank you.
Appanog.
That one, great food,
Yeah.
great nachos, great French fries,
And like beer, that's more like, that goes
Yeah.
with all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like fun eats.
Yeah, I almost feel like you could kind of do anything with beer.
Yeah.
And honestly, you can do anything with whatever. I might be the only weirdo that's like, like picky about the food that gets served with what I'm
Yeah.
drinking. But I also don't like, if I'm out to eat for dinner, like I'll order a drink before we eat, and then when the food comes out, I drink water with the food, and then I switch back to like.
Yeah. It's
the
not a
booze.
beverage.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
like
think
its
of it
own
that
thing.
way. But like picky eats with like a glass of wine is good.
Yeah.
So I think that's
I
probably where
agree.
I weirdly put things into like.
categories.
No, I'm the
Categories.
same way.
Yeah.
And it's funny because sometimes, like, if I do have a cocktail or something, it fills me up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I'm not so hungry for dinner, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't usually treat a cocktail as like my drink with dinner.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of like its own thing.
Yeah, not typically. I guess there's like a few exceptions, like if you get like a red wine with a steak or something, and it's like paired
Yeah,
properly.
that's true.
But then I would still have like a water or something to have with it. I used to always grew up a soda person, so it was always like Coke with dinner.
I love a Diet Coke.
I grew up having Coke. Like, it was like water. No, who drinks that?
No, yeah, I want something that has
Yeah.
flavor.
Milk?
Oh, mine was like Crystal Light.
Really?
Yeah.
You believed in Crystal Light?
My mom did. She sure did. It's all we had. I'm a Crystal
Yeah.
Light girl.
No, my mom was Pepsi, I think. We were like a Pepsi house.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, it was Sprite for me.
Yeah, I like Coke if I'm going to drink, or Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I do like
Oh.
Coke. Coke in a can.
Yes.
We're so off topic.
There's something about that.
Oh, it's like crispy.
And it's stronger.
I want it to
big
burn,
burp.
you know?
Yeah, I know.
I want it
Yeah,
to
we're
bring
way
the
off topic.
pain.
I know. Now I
Um,
want French fries.
Welcome to
Anyway.
the Tangent Podcast. But yeah, I think so. One of the things that got introduced, and I don't know if this was nationwide or if it was statewide, it was a while back, but like you can't serve booze unless you have food. Like you can't just have a bar. There has to be some kind of food available. It's like I think it's a state law, but
Yeah.
and while that was probably annoying for places that like were really specialty, like just if you went to a vineyard, you could do a little bit of a wine tasting and then go on your way. But I think they have to serve something. That's why most breweries have like food trucks there now, so they
Yeah.
don't have to have a kitchen, but they have food available.
Or that's like Buttonwood's Brewery. They have Screaming Unicorn in it.
Yes.
Oh, is that like almost like a separate
Yeah, it's like
restaurant inside?
not like a restaurant, but like kind of like a kitchen setup, kind of like a counter, almost.
Gotcha.
But their food is really good.
What kind of stuff do you like to get there?
It's like picky things, like they have like disco fries, things like that. I guess I just love a French fry.
Who doesn't?
I mean, that is why I guess I would take a French fry pretty much any time.
Well, if it didn't go with your drink,
Poutine.
I know.
Yeah,
You
but
can't
then
have
I'm,
it now.
I'm gonna get hungry.
I know. Snooty Nick ain't having
at
wine
least
and
it's
French
like I have
fries.
peanuts.
I know.
Um,
I'm like, why don't they serve a cupcake at the place?
But it's kind of one of the reasons that I really like Patty J's like roundup styles in the magazines is because it's like things she does a good job at categorizing something that I wouldn't necessarily think to be like, oh, where do I go for this? And then she puts it in there. And I'm like, oh, that's a good list.
Yeah.
And
It
what
gives
I
you
like
the-
about her too is she I think I know a lot of places in the state. There is always at least a couple of
got
things
her
on her list that
finger.
I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, "Oh, Rhode Islanders all know about blank," and I'm like,
Yeah, totally. We totally.
"Yeah."
do.
I'm like, "Wow, that's new to me." So
I guess I could read off just so everybody knows what we're talking about. There's Apponaug Brewing Company, Diamond Hill Vineyard, Gooseneck Vineyard, Langworthy Inn and Winery, Layden Farm Vineyards and Winery, Newport Vineyards, Secondant Vineyard, and Screaming Unicorn at Buttonwoods Brewery. How many of those have we been to as a unit?
I like totally just spaced out on what you were saying.
I know you've been to Apponaug, I
Yep.
believe. You've been to
Newport.
Buttonwoods.
Yep.
You've been to Newport,
Secondant.
Secondant. What about the Gooseneck?
I've been to Gooseneck.
I haven't
Elise
been.
went to Gooseneck. I believe I've been to Diamond Hill Vineyard. I mean, I had to have. I lived in northern Rhode Island
like 20
forever.
bazillion years ago.
Yeah. I've been to Layden Farm. I went
I've
there
been
for
to
like
Layden Farm.
the Christmas tree thing, which was great when I went with like my ex-girlfriend, and we, you go and you cut down a Christmas tree, and then you go and have a wine flight, and you like make it a thing.
Yeah.
Which it was nice to
Aw.
have like an activity to go along with it.
Yeah.
What'd you do
Um,
with the tree during the wine flight? Did you put it on the
I
truck?
think I just had it on the truck.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I didn't know.
Put it on the floor near
you
the
like
table.
to drag it with you.
I know, like a pocketbook. You're just like,
Like,
watch
well,
your
leave-
step over there.
Hey, can you watch my tree?
Exactly.
Yeah, somebody keep an eye on this for me. Just bring it in. You lean it against the table.
She's with me.
Yeah.
That was
Love
my
it.
ex-girlfriend. It was just the tree. Thanks for calling me out on that.
Sorry.
Now
But yeah,
I
there's
wanna-
so many
now I
good
wanna name the
options.
tree.
Yeah, the tree. Teresa.
Yeah.
Okay, but there are like so many good options out there, and I mean, there has been a huge, I don't know if you could call it resurgence, but like a boom of, I mean, not statewide too, but also nationwide of like vineyards and breweries, especially popping up all over the place. And the fact that they all have to have food, which I'm sure is a pain in the butt for them, but is nice for the people going, and you can try something different. And there is kind of a big thing now of like incorporating an actual, like you said, at the other place, like actual chefs, a real restaurant in there
Yeah.
serving like really good food. I think it just makes for a more rounded experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think some places, I'm not sure, at least one place on this list, Langworthy, I believe,
Mhm.
you can also stay there overnight and turn
Yeah.
it into a whole thing, right? So you can get loaded
Oh.
and just sleep over.
You know what Dippa hates to see me coming?
Yeah, it's the Langworthy Inn and Winery.
Yeah, in Westerly.
Circa 1875 property.
Is that the tree one?
No, Leyden Farm is
Okay.
the tree one.
That's where Teresa goes.
That's
That's where Teresa goes. That's right.
That's her home.